first, I would like to quickly present you the concept of the future marketplace. Paul Phillips mentioned it yesterday when he was presenting his vision of future features for Flow Connect. There was something about telemetry, but there was also something about the future marketplace integration. I have some more details about it because it's also important for me to then receive your feedback on these new proposed features and the way how the marketplace could be more integrated with your Flow Studio and Flow Hub in the future. Then I'm going to also present you several application candidates that we are going to produce the next year. Yeah, I'm talking about the future now, but yeah, we pre-selected several, like 15 of them, and I would like to get your feedback. But before I get your feedback in Mentimeter, yeah, that will be in Mentimeter, I would like to quickly describe these apps, and then feedback time, right? So okay, let's jump over to the first session. So the vision of the future marketplace, Novacura marketplace. Yeah, I borrowed this slide from yesterday's presentation. So a part of the future could look like this. You would see all the possible marketplace applications directly in the Flow Hub. And then I could guess you can click on it and see some details and include by just clicking, include it in your existing project. So this will be that convenient. And also, you would be able to directly search for specific components, fragments of the Flow code directly from within the Flow Studio. So you search for something and you then include it. And here we have the example of a component that is to be placed in between some other user steps. But I would like to do make a step forward or maybe step forward, then come back to the past. But I would like to give you some deeper understanding of the concept of integration with marketplace. And I'm going to come back to my presentation from 2022 when it was just a vision. Now it's much closer to the implementation. And this will not be implemented directly the way I'm showing it here. But I think it will give you a better understanding on how it could look and work directly in Flow Studio. So let me start with a general concept presentation. This is all animated. I hope I will not. I still remember how it goes. So yeah, you are in a Flow Studio, and you click a typical arrow, and you want to add a new step, like user step, machine step, but you have something new here. Search for components. These are the fragments of applications, not fully functional applications, but fragments. A little thing that does particular job. So let's search for something, maybe material pickup. Yeah, I still remember that. Yeah, and you immediately see results. So these are the application components that you can choose from. And these are, you have several examples. Some of them are just technical. It just read some data from your IFS. It could be IFS Cloud that you still don't know. I mean, there's a whole new OData API for that, right? So you see several examples here. By the way, I have in mind that this should be selected based on your predefined ERP system version. So if you are running IFS applications 10, it shouldn't recommend you applications for IFS Cloud or for Infor M3 13.4. So yeah, this is only for your ERP. You see authorized, or all of them should be authorized, but you see applications created or components created by Novacura directly, but also the applications created by the community. I mean, all of you, our partners. Now let's click on one. I said click on one. And then obviously you see some further details, ERP version, some opinions, blah, blah, blah. It's probably obvious, so I'll move forward. Then let's choose one. And what happens then, and this will probably or most likely will not look like this, but this is good for the imagination. So you like paste a fragment of the code that is well prepared and does its job. Could be even like this. Obviously, then it's hard for us to maintain it. It's not like a component, like a library function. You then become responsible for that code. It's a code, right? A fragment of code that you copied and pasted into your project. And then obviously you have to somehow merge it with your variables that exist in your current flow application. And again, this is just the vision, but this is how it could look. So you can then, instead of building from scratch from sand and concrete, you start building from blocks. You have some elements. You just copy and paste, copy and paste. I have no clue about IFS OData API. I mean, I don't even know how to call it projection and endpoints. But I would definitely be able to build an application if I have a library of such functions, and I just select this, and I glue it in my project, and I pray it will work and cooperate together. So yeah, this is the first concept here. What else? Yeah, the other thing is that you could also be able to edit these elements. So it's obviously not frozen. It's not like, oh, sorry, this part is about something else. Yeah, instead of just adding it here, I mean, directly by clicking on the Flow Studio canvas, you would also be able to search and browse the directory of these components and apps in the Flow Studio. Again, the look is just preliminary. And as you can see, you can build the application in a very rapid way out of these fragments, out of these components. Now, what else is here? Yeah, you are also able to edit it. And to make a step forward here, we also think about adding the ability to provide some hints for you in case you want to edit it. So these hints, this little like help instructions, could be embedded in these components so that it's easier for you to edit and develop it and enhance it without making mistakes, because the designer who prepared it had some vision in mind. So it's better if he shares this vision together with the component. So that's the vision here. Let's move forward. Yeah, I don't want to forget about the flow portal. Yeah, yesterday, I really enjoyed the presentation that Malin did together with Ola. Ola was pretending he is a customer while she asked several questions. And I liked the presentation. She created very good-looking, portal in like 15 minutes, right? It was 17 minutes. But how about moving this? I mean, how about improving this efficiency a bit more? How about if we have a search element, component in our Flow portal? Yeah, it's still Flow portal 2 looks like style. And then you search for ready-made portlets. What we currently offer is a library, huge library of different portlets, meaning layout of tables, charts, and other visual components, but it's still empty. You still have to connect it to the data sources. And Malin did it effectively yesterday. But to be honest, she cheated you because she had preliminary prepared data sources, right, in Flow. And the clue is the problem sometimes is to prepare these data sources, right? To read the right information from your ERP system, from other systems like Salesforce, HubSpot, or whatever you have, and then serve it to Portal. When you have it in Portal as a data set, it's super easy to convert it into table. You just drag and drop as Malin did. But how to connect the data and how to retrieve the data from the source system. And then the concept comes that instead of just creating portlets from scratch, you could download entire application fragments for your Portal application. With that, you not only have a layout pre-configured with all the colors and hints and other visual elements, but it also comes with ready-made data source like flows that serve the data to the portlet. So instead of creating portlet from scratch, you immediately get a preview on your delivery schedule that is planned in your IFS. Yes, this zooms out. Done. You already have data here connected to your IFS. Hopefully, the IFS installation configuration is compatible with the component. So that's another concept. And the last concept, it's not the concept, it should exist. Because we want our partners to share your applications, to build the library in an effective way. And to do that, we know we have to enable you to do that in a very easy way. And this is the way we imagine. You're working in a Flow Studio on your canvas. You select several objects. You believe this is a good fragment. I would like to generalize it and share. And then you select it. And the boring part comes because you have to comment it And it's not like commit one and done. It has to be really well documented, and you need to generalize it somehow. God damn it. How much time we have? No. I have 15 and something, yeah? I need to hurry, really. Okay, so you comment, you publish, and we know this has to be reviewed by Novacura before it's ready for the marketplace. And then it appears on the marketplace. But don't worry, it doesn't have to be, because you have your own IP and your own know-how. So you might be worrying about, sharing it with other people. So it doesn't have to be public. It can also be your own library, your own internal marketplace that you share among your team of developers in your company. Okay, so this is the entire vision. Let's come back to the future. Actually, it was the past vision of the future, so it's really hard to use proper English tense for that. But I'm now here and now. Yesterday, we also, and I would like to remind you it, because I was focusing, in my previous slides, I focused on the full flow full flow application examples. So you have several steps connected. So it's almost like an application. But I would like to also remind you that we also invented and prepared a concept. It's no longer a concept, it's a real thing, of modules for FlowScript. It's just a library of objects, like a DLL for other languages, right? It's a library of objects and functions prepared to serve to do specific things. So yeah, we also have modules. And so you connect the module to your application, and then you just call the library function from your particular FlowScript step, and yeah, it's done. So yeah, these are modules. Now, I would like to quickly summarize the opportunities, the possibilities you have, and then I'll jump to Mentimeter because I want to collect your feedback on which of these variants, which of these elements are the most wanted by you. So to quickly summarize it. Yeah, we could start with this is actually our beginning. Fully functional, ready-made application. You install it, and if your installation is compatible with our installation, then it will immediately work. So you have, for instance, your travel and expense app for reporting expenses. It's like ready-made application. Download, run it. Now, another example is very similar thing, but it's more like a template. We know, for instance, supplier onboarding process presented by Axel yesterday. It's not something that looks identically in all the companies. We know it for sure. You have other systems to connect to and so on and so on. So we know we could provide a template, kind of general process, where this white elements, it's just symbolic, could be like left empty. We know there must be something. It must connect to your, I don't know, HR system or your CRM system. But we know which system is it. So we just leave it empty, but we preserve space for that. That's the template concept. Another level is what we have here. Examples. We currently serve some examples on the marketplace, like this form recognizer. It shows you, when you download it, it shows you how to use Microsoft Form Recognizer AI tool to recognize fields and from the documents and convert onto some logical structured data objects and so on. But we don't know which documents you have, what kind of structure you want to retrieve from the document. So it's just example. But with that example, you know now how to copy it and paste and convert into your case, because you know your case and you know how to use the technology thanks to the example. Another level, yeah, these are just the components that we promote now with with everything that I just showed. Another level of complexity could be, it's like details, the libraries of modules. So it's like very tiny little thing, but could be huge, have huge impact on everything. Modules for FlowScript. Yeah, we are like a little step below. Another thing is, I believe, we mainly think about using this FlowScript application for building end-user application, but we can also support you by providing a library of like snippets and fragments to establish integration with third-party systems. We have one connector, REST connector, for everything, and there is plenty of systems, cloud-based systems now that are built and that offer REST integration. But it doesn't mean that we immediately know how to connect with these systems. I mean, Salesforce offers other APIs, it's still REST, but you need to know how to connect. So how about providing you with these snippets and like fragments, elements that will establish the connectivity with the system without your specific specialized knowledge? And yeah, it's especially important, I think, in the context of IFS Cloud, where you need to now convert all your applications or your legacy integration with other systems from the PL/SQL world, like legacy, into the new OData world, where Albin, you're a specialist here, right? You no longer say we have methods, we have projections, endpoints, and all that stuff, and we have like something about 5,000 projections, right? And it's growing and growing over time. Yeah, so we have over 5,000 projections. Please choose the favorite one, right? So if we provide you with some packaged projections, so these are fragments from the Flow Studio. You just know that I want to read what we have here, invoice header, and then I would like to also read the invoice lines. Or maybe it's one projection that we just call and we immediately get a header with the lines. Do we have separate things for lines and headers for invoices? Or one package at a time?
There are different, but they can also be related. They often are entities within a page in IFS.
So guys, this thing is Albin packaged into the library of answers here, right? Like you just get, you can call it Albin library, my favorites and so on. And the last one is, yeah, as showed before, a library of portlets pre-configured for your future portal, Flow Portal Connect, I hope. Now, survey time. Let me jump you to, yeah, you're now expecting what will happen. You're taking your phones, that's correct. Here is the link to Mentimeter. Please do something like, when you're done, when you're there. I can still see people taking photos. I will now jump to Mentimeter. In case you were not able to jump there already, the number will still be visible. Yeah, I was preparing the presentation a second ago. That's my problem. You can see it now, my way of working. Okay. So you should all see this intro slide in your Mentimeter application. Yeah, I have a big request to my colleagues from Novacura. Please don't vote because we will then force the results, right? The results are already like done. So, okay. Now what you should do here is this is the clone of my previous slide, all the types of apps from big ones, packages that you can start using immediately to the little details like modules, library. Please evaluate it. I can't remember if this was from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. To what extent would you like to use it? From I don't need it at all, I don't get it, to I would like to immediately use it because I feel it's just for me. Why don't we see the results? Are you able to do the sliders? Probably. You have to, all of them, yeah. We have results. Jesus, it's so impatient. No, it's worse. Okay, let's stop. It's getting worse all the time. What does this thumb up mean? That you like the question? What is this? You know? It means that you're listening to the presenter. Okay. So, I don't know if I can assume that, is anyone still, yeah, I can still see people. I'm happy with positive responses. Can I add heart icon and maybe some other like emotions, like smile? Yeah, so your favorite is like examples, and I'm not very surprised. And I also see the second, almost the leader, is the OData snippets, the OData examples. Yeah, because you're in front of the IFS cloud on-prem. Okay, let's move to the next. Can I move or someone else? Someone needs, okay. Another question is, would you trust? And before you vote, please, I assume that we, as Novacura, we would authorize it, we would certify it to some extent, verify it before we publish apps created by a community, by users like you. Would you trust anyway? Interesting to see. What's going on with his thumbs? Yes, but with limited trust. Smart people. I mean, the ones who believe that should use it without any, objections. It's not that you're not smart. It means like you're smart and brave. Okay, no, I will not take the risk. So this is good. I mean, it's a good feedback for us that we definitely should involve the community in building the apps, and then you can share among each other. I mean, if you like networking here, you talk to each other in the networking breaks, then you would also love to share these applications among you and maybe come back to the conference a year after and say, yeah, that was my application and I saw you downloaded it. Okay, next question. I'm moving forward. Another story. So if you are so willing to benefit from applications created by others like you, would you also like to participate in building and sharing these apps, these components, fragments, examples, modules? Interesting. I'm super happy seeing these results. Super happy. Okay, it's getting worse. The time, we don't have time to like wait for those who still hesitate. Maybe you're calling your manager saying, yeah, are we allowed to share it? And the legal department starts complaining. So, yeah. I should have another slide with a subtitle saying, let's imagine the legal department doesn't exist in your organization. And then the same question. Okay, but I think that the right answer is between, yes, I'll be happy, but I really must check with my organization, and this will probably require some additional work to make sure that we don't share too many details on our business. But yeah, okay, thanks for that. Thanks for the feedback. Now I'm in trouble because I think I can add 5 more minutes. There will be a break now after my presentation, and they have to dismount this wall. So in case the wall is not fully dismounted, it's because I prolonged my presentation. So sorry for that. Because we will meet in 30 minutes after, and we will have the planner session again in one big conference room and the ending. So as I mentioned before, I also selected, and it's not me, okay? It's my business solutions team, the second team I have right now. They do pre-sales right now, but we will convert into the department that will also build these applications. And these people, like no other, have connection with our new customers because we present a lot of applications for them. So we somehow summarize the most repeatable cases and most repeatable needs that come from the market. And we selected candidates for the future applications for IFS. And we have us in this Excel file, but this only exists here to show you that we really did this exercise. But I'm going to present you several examples a bit more in details, and then I'll ask you to vote on these candidates. So please remember, if something is interesting, please remember the name. First thing, very technical example. We know that people struggle with storing documents, attachments in IFS objects. There is a certain list, a list of things that you need to do to store the object in IFS, the like binary object in IFS in the documents module. You need to know how to do it properly. So we are thinking, let's build examples both for IFS and IFS Cloud version to show the people how to use it properly. Second example is, no, I can't remember. Yeah. This is more business-oriented. So we observe companies like huge structures, holding structures, where there is very many companies in a group, but they are connected in the same supply chain. So subsidiary company produces something and uses parts, and the part is then shipped to the mother company, and they also use this part, or they don't use it in the same way. But yeah, there is a whole list of companies involved in the same process. And you need to create parts from your suppliers for all the subsidiary companies or for all the sites you have, because you can't do it like, you don't have like common administration dashboard in IFS, so you have to repeat the same work and create the same part in each of these companies and sites. So we actually currently have application implemented for one of the customers where we automate the process. You just create the part once, and it's then distributed to all these subsidiary companies, if not sites. I might mix these two items. But yeah, so this is all about master data management, where you configure an element once and then you say, yeah, let's distribute it to other companies. Another example of that type could be you create a global project and then the project is replicated in all the sites. Next example is, again, it requires specific business model for a company, but there are companies who produce large items and they install it on site, like, I don't know, pipelines or something. They must install it on site at the customer site. And after they assemble it there, then they can treat it as a finished good. So actually, they don't ship finished goods, like technically, from their factory because it's shipped in a form of components. And there is a problem in IFS with that shipment because IFS doesn't see it as a semi-finished goods in any way. Even if you first mount it in your factory, then you have to dismount it and deliver to the customer after the tests. And we know this problem is repeatable because there is also one thread in IFS community that they talk specifically about it. So we would like to prepare an application. We prepared it for another customer where you can easily select an object like list of components that belong to the almost finished good, and you just send it for shipment. Another example, it's easier here because I presented it yesterday. So the whole package for handling incoming invoices, right? With attachments, with the view on into the mailbox and so on. Next example is, I also presented yesterday, so it will be easy. General surveys engine. Please remember, it's not just to execute the survey. How do you feel today in your company, and is our new kitchen better than the old one? It's also something that you can then connect to specific business activities you do. Like, for instance, if you have technicians, maintenance guys, you can add this little survey as the last checking list or kind of inspection report for them. So it's not just generic survey. That's why we have it in Flow. Another example, what is this? It's also connected to mobile work order application. We know customers struggle with building reports. To be completely honest, HTML to PDF connector is not the easiest tool to prepare reports in the world, to say it politely. So we think we could create a library of typical reports that are applicable for service technicians, and then you can treat it as a library and choose from this template and maybe customize it. Another one is integration. Sorry, I must be really fast now. Integration with transportation exchange services. So you have, the portal, the service, and there are various freight companies offering transportation services for various, they offer various prices, but they also offer various quality, blah, blah, blah. And we have implementation, successful implementation, where the customer integrated their IFS and they get prices from the in this case it's PaceJet. They get actual prices from PaceJet from this exchange, and IFS or Flow automatically selects the best price for the planned route. So there is no space for combination at the admin side. It's just it's done automatically, and you get the best price directly in your IFS without even touching the portal. Now, another area, I know I flew you with examples, but this will all be listed in Mentimeter. I will not ask you which one was the best, and you have to remember, this will be listed. HR, we have plenty of examples implemented in Novacura. But for instance, management of this, all these absences, it can be for everyone in a company. Yeah, I feel sick, I feel bad. I will feel like this tomorrow, probably. So I'll report my absence directly in Flow to report my time. Talking about which, we also have fantastic application. I can't stop using it. Normally, I use it every single month once. Because it's that good. So if you have some good stuff, you don't touch it, right? When you go to museum, you never touch the paintings, right? Because it's that good. So I try to not touch it too often. But it's useful, to be honest, and you can report and you can select your list of preferred My projects, right? So you have My projects on the list. It's actually mine, and as you can see, you report it on one screen. You just use arrows and you say, yeah, 2 hours here, 1 hour here. And then you accumulate it to 10 hours or 12 hours per day, as I do. And then, yeah, you can also select additional things like, have you performed the work from your home, or maybe you were on site, and so on. And it also allows you to approve the time, reject it, and so on, so on. And it's for everybody in a company. I believe, and we also have it there, I believe it's also good for back office, like marketing, for instance. We are maybe front office, but it's good for all the departments. Then you know what these people do. You know if they spend time properly or not. So maybe it's worth of considering for the entire company. And it's very easy to use, actually. But no one likes to do that, right? And I'm not the only example. And this is for accountants, too complicated. But if you're accountant, you sometimes need to correct something in your general ledger, yeah, in bookings. So to do that, it's good if you filter something, and then you have an effective tool to say, okay, this line, the conference expense, drinks that exceeded the limit should go to customer success team, not to marketing. Oh, let's split it between marketing and customer success, because our existing customers drank too much, so it should belong to customer success. And our new potential customers who belong to marketing, they didn't drink that much. So we split one cost into two things, taking it back from the general ledger. So after it was booked, we set corrections. This is how it should be. We press approve, and then a Flow generates set of lines in IFS to also create records like correction records, because you can't just change it. Yeah, you have to document this is minus, this is plus here, still catched, and so on. I hope those for whom it's interesting perfectly understand the purpose. Talking about financial, it's about financial, but it could be used for shipments and so on. There is a certain list of services where you have to check the status of your supplier, or maybe your customer, a third-party company. And they might, there are several countries that are on sanction list and you can't ship there directly. There are companies who don't pay the EU VAT, so you can't invoice with this tax, and so on, so on. Again, this will exist in the survey, so it's probably self-explanatory. Paul, how to pronounce it? Explanatory? Yeah, thank you. And last one, I hope. Yes, this is the last one. Easy thing. Import-export Flow users for Flow Classic. You purchased a company. You want to import 52 users from this company to Flow. Why don't you just import it from CSV file or Excel file? Another one little example, probably module for Flow script, is conversion of, it will use the internet service to do that, but you convert latitude and attitude, these numbers like geofencing thing, into the address and in the reverse way. You set the address and then you get the latitude, the coordinates. And the last one, since we know that the HTML converter that generates PDF files is not as easy as it should be, we also almost created a general mechanism for creating reports based on Word files, Microsoft Word. So in Word, you can set these meta elements, these placeholders that are then used by the specific connector thing that converts it into PDF reports and replaces the dynamic areas as you probably expect. So yeah, time for Mentimeter. That's the same survey.